Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Jennifer Tarle and I am the owner of Tarle Speech and Language Services. And as you all know, I specialize in pronunciation training with sounds, word stress, and intonation. I've done a few live classes in the past, and today I am going to do 3 live classes at 10, 11, and 12 U.S. Central Time. So make sure you figure out what time that is in your neck of the woods. And we're going to be talking about the top consonant mistakes and doing a little bit more of a deep dive into those to give you some tips on just how to correct those, because I've gotten some really great questions from everyone. So let me go ahead and pull up the slideshow for you, and let's go ahead and get started here. So today we're going to be talking about the TH sound. Let's see. I can't go to the next slide. There we go. Okay. So if you have questions, I have the live chat on. Please feel free to ask a question. I will try to monitor those as much as possible. It's just me today. And so if I take a second to get back to your question, don't worry, I'll get to them. If I miss any, you can check my website and I will be sure to answer all of the questions there. I will be posting handouts to my website, www.Tarle Speech, that's T-A-R-L-E Speech, SPEECH.com, probably within the next few days. So our agenda today is to review the top English as a second language, American English consonant sound mistakes, to do a little deep dive into the TH, how do we read that sound, those 2 letters, how do we spell the sound, and how do we actually make this sound so that people can understand us. And then we're going to get into some practice, which is what I know everybody really wants to do. So there is a class on the YouTube channel about the common ESL consonant errors. So please take a look at that. I have a playlist of all of my free classes that you can take a look at. And the biggest mistake that I hear from people is the TH sound. There are 2 different TH sounds. The voiceless TH, that's the very soft TH sound. Think bathroom and with. And then the voice TH sound. It's a little bit harder. These, brother, and tie. We also have the Z sound, which we'll be talking about today at noon Central Time in the US, the NG sound, and then we have some confusing sound pairs, W and V, SH and CH that we'll be talking about at 11 o'clock today, US Central Time, and then R, L, and W. So V and W we'll talk about next week. R, L, and W I'm throwing in will be next Monday as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the TH sound. A lot of people who speak different languages mispronounce this sound. In fact, I would say every client that I've ever worked with has mispronounced this sound. And the reason is that most other languages do not have this sound. And even if people try to fix the sound, they're still going to have some mistakes lingering, even if they've tried to fix it on their own, I find out, because it is such a high frequency sound. So what are some common mistakes? Okay, so let's talk about those common mistakes. I'm going to have you watch me so that you can see how these sounds look different. So the first common mistake that I see is that I hear people say t, t, the T sound. I hear the T sound instead of the TH sound. So I hear people say tin with a T, tin, the type of metal, instead of fin, tin, fin. You can see that sound looks very different. The T, the sound is made in your mouth behind your teeth, and you're actually touching your teeth. T. And then the TH, my tongue is outside of my mouth. So T and the next mistake that I see is I hear people say the S sound. So I hear people say sought instead of thought. Sought and thought. Now, how do those two sounds look different? They look different because my tongue is inside of my mouth for the S sound. It's not touching my teeth, so that's good, but it should be outside of my mouth, not touching my teeth. Thought, sought, and thought. The next mistake that I hear is the F sound. So I will hear people say faux, not though. Faux, not though. And so the mistake here is that people, again, you're not touching your teeth with your tongue, but you are biting your lip and you're not sticking your tongue out. Faux, not though. I also hear, I know this is the fourth different thing that I hear the D sound, and I'll hear people say den, not then, den, then. Again, the mistake here is very similar to the T sound. The tongue is inside of the mouth and it's touching the teeth for the D in den, and it should be outside of the mouth for the TH then. Mistake number 5 that I hear is I hear a Z sound. Z, and I'll hear Z's, not these. Z's, these. So what's the difference here? You're probably catching on. The mistake is that my tongue is inside of my mouth. The good news is the air is continuing to move out of my mouth. Zzz, but I need to stick my tongue out. These, Z's, and these. And the last mistake that I hear is a V sound, and I will hear people say van, not than. Van, than. So again, good news, you're not touching your teeth with your tongue. That's great, but you're biting your lip and your mouth is too closed, so you're not able to stick your tongue out for the than. So let's look at all of these one more time. Tin, thin, sought, thought, faux, though, den, then, Z's, these, I almost made a mistake myself, and van, than. Okay, so let's go back to the screen share here so you can see my slideshow. Okay, so how do we read the letters TH? So when you see these two letters on a page, how do you know what to say? When you see the TH together, this is considered a digraph. And what is a digraph? A digraph are two letters written down, pronounced as one sound. So they're two written letters pronounced as one sound. We have lots of these in English, which confuses a lot of my clients. We have TH, SH, sh, WH, w, CH, ch, NG, and PH, f. So again, two letters, we pronounce them as one sound. So when you see the letters TH together, you're going to see two letters only say one sound. So typically when you see TH, you read it as a sound. Think bathtub math. Now there are just a few exceptions. The biggest exception that I want everyone to kind of really recognize comes to someone's name in English. So in English, we say Thomas, Thomas, and we don't say Thomas, even though the name is spelled with a TH. So we're only going to pronounce that TH as a T sound, Thomas. Many clients from different countries pronounce this as Thomas, which that is kind of very similar to how you pronounce it in your language. But in English, we would say Thomas or Tom. Every once in a while, we do not pronounce these letters at all. So when we see the word asthma, we do not say the TH, and we would just say asthma, as if the word was spelled A-Z-M-A. So how do we spell this sound? There are two ways to spell the TH sound. There are the letters T and H together, the digraph, and we pronounce it as thank, with, that, and brother. But also, if you see the T-H-E combination, we're going to pronounce that as a TH. Now, typically that's the hard or the voice TH, and this combination usually comes at the end of a word, and this would be breathe, clothe, and bathe. So that's how we spell that sound. Now, how do we pronounce this? So let me go ahead and bring my face back up for you. Hello again. Okay, so when we are pronouncing this sound, let's go ahead and I'm going to go through the steps and read them, and then I'll put them back on the screen for you to look at. If you need these handouts later, let me put this up here. They will be on my website by the end of the week at tarlespeech.com. Okay, so let's look at what you do with your lips, your tongue, your airflow, and your voicing. So we're going to go through all of those steps, and then we're going to talk about some tips to make sure that you say this correctly. Okay, so for your lips, they're going to be open and relaxed. They're really not doing a whole lot. The important part of this sound is your tongue. What are you doing with your tongue? You must stick your tongue out of your mouth. Stick it out of your mouth between your teeth. So it's between your top and bottom teeth. Now, here's the trick. Do not touch your teeth with your tongue. I see a lot of people stick their tongue out of their mouth, and then the sound still sounds like a T or a D. So I'll hear people say that instead of that. Why does that happen? Because even though your tongue is out of your mouth, you're touching your teeth. So always remember, do not touch your top teeth, because then you're going to make the D or the T sound, and we don't want that to happen. The airflow is going to continue out of your mouth. If you hold your hand in front of your mouth, you should feel that air coming out. And that's a good angle to see that TH sound. You can see I'm not really touching my teeth. And my tongue is kind of cupping a little bit. But don't worry so much about that. Just think about sticking your tongue out and making sure the air continues. Okay, very good. Now, this is a big distinction between the sounds, and this is not very common in English that one sound is both voiced and unvoiced. So what does voicing mean? Voicing is your voice box, this thing in your throat here, your larynx, and when it vibrates, then that is creating the sound that is very hard. And so that is giving it that voiced hard quality. And you can actually feel that. It might be easier to try it with a different sound. Say the sound B, ba, 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 and feel your throat. Ba, ba, ba. That's voiced. So all that's happening here, your lips are opening and closing. Ba, ba, ba. The air's puffing out. Your voice is on, and it's making that B sound. Ba, ba, ba. Now, let's not use our voice at all. We're not going to use the voice. You're going to open and close your lips, and the air is going to puff out, and it's going to sound much softer. So if you hold your throat again, nothing is moving here. Now, if you vibrate your vocal cords, ba, 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 you can feel that. So that's voicing. TH is both voiced, it's a little bit harder, and voiceless, it's a little softer. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my PowerPoint with you again. Okay, so let's recap one more time. Your lips are open and relaxed, kind of in a neutral position. Your tongue is out of the mouth. The tip of your tongue is out of your mouth, and you are not touching your teeth. Now, when you first try this, you're going to have to stick your tongue out a little further than you see me or other Americans doing, and that's because you're learning this new skill. You're learning this new motor pattern. Do not worry, you will get to the point where it's more natural and you don't have to stick your tongue out as far. The airflow is going to move continuously out of your mouth, and you should be able to feel that air on your hand if it's in front of your mouth as you're saying that sound. The air should not stop, but should continue to hit your hand. Voicing can be either off for that quiet TH or on with your throat and your voice box vibrating for So the big tips, the big takeaways, stick your tongue out and do not touch your teeth and keep the air moving. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a little practice. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off for a second because a very important component of practicing pronunciation is listening. And I know that sounds a little bit crazy. All of my clients say that. Listening is important because you have to know when to use this sound. So just go ahead. I'm going to read the PowerPoint, which is on my other screen here, and I'm going to try to turn back to the screen so you can see my face. And I want you to just listen for the sounds, okay? So we're going to start off with the voiceless TH. Okay, just listen. Listen and watch my mouth. Think, thousand, third. Think, thousand, third. Now you're going to hear the sound in the middle of the word. Without, authorize, everything. Without, authorize, everything. And at the end of a word, math, Smith, 50th. Math, Smith, 50th. I want to point out one thing here. If you listen to my TH when it comes at the end of a word, it's a tiny bit longer than if that sound is at the beginning or in the middle of the word. Keep that in mind. That's a fairly general rule that you can apply to English, that sounds at the end of a word are typically a little bit longer than the same sound that's made in the beginning and the middle of the word. That's really true for vowel sounds and for sounds where the air continues to come out of your mouth. Okay, now listen to the sentence. To get to the theater, walk 3 blocks north to the corner of 38th and Smith Roads. To get to the theater, walk 3 blocks north to the corner of 38th and Smith Roads. Okay. All right, now let's go on to the voice TH, where my voice box is going to be vibrating, and just listen, listen, listen. Van, that, this. Van, that, this. And now in the middle of words. Brother, although, worthy. Brother, although, worthy. And at the end of a word, bathe, breathe, clothe. Bathe, breathe, clothe. Now, this voice TH at the end of the word is typically a huge challenge for my clients, but here's the good news. We don't use this voice TH sound a lot at the end of words. So you can do a Google search on voice TH sounds at the end of the words, make a list of the words that you would probably use the most, and just practice those and don't worry about the rest. All right, and then let's go ahead and listen to the sentence. The mother and father love their children. The mother and father love their children. Okay, excellent. So let's go ahead. Let me pull these up again and share my screen with you. Okay, so now you're going to repeat after me. Think, thousand, third. Now try them on your own. Think, thousand, third. Okay, let's go on to the sound in the middle of a word. Repeat after me. Without, authorize, everything. Now you'll try them on your own. Without, authorize, everything. And at the end of a word, math, Smith, 50th. Now try them on your own. Math, Smith, 50th. Okay, now let's try it in a sentence. I love this sentence. I italicize the words for you that have the TH in it to kind of help you out a little bit. But as you get better with this sound, be sure that you just practice without highlighting the words so that makes it a little bit harder for you. So repeat after me. To get to the theater, walk 3 blocks north to the corner of 38th and Smith. Okay, now all together. To get to the theater, walk 3 blocks north to the corner of 38th and Smith. Okay, how did you do? Let's think about it. Did the air continue? Was your tongue outside of your mouth? And did you make that sound a little bit longer when it was at the end of the word? Okay, you might be asking yourself, the has a TH in it. Is that not the TH sound? Yes, it is the TH sound, but it is the voiced TH sound that we're going to get to next for our practice. Okay, so again, repeat after me. Than, that, this. Now do it on your own. Than, that, this. Now in the middle, brother, although, worthy. Brother, although worthy. Give it a try. And at the end, bathe, breathe, clothe. Bathe, breathe, clothe. And the sentence, the mother and father love their children. Let's break it down before we do the whole thing together. The mother and father love their children. Now let's put it all together. The mother and father love their children. Okay, and how did you do with that? Let's do a little self-reflection. Did you use your TH sound correctly, or did it sound more like a V or a D or a Z? Okay, was your tongue out of your mouth? And did you keep the air moving? And was your voice on? Okay, let's move on. Here's a little more practice. Okay, I'm going to ask a question, and then I'm going to have you repeat that question. Do you use mouthwash or just a toothbrush and toothpaste? Give that a try. And then when you answer it, it's going to be a little more difficult because you have to come up with the answer on your own. Now, I did try to stack the deck so that you can practice your TH sounds. I use mouthwash and a toothbrush and toothpaste. How about you? Okay, let's try the next one. Repeat the question after me. Which pizza do you like? Thick or thin? I'm sorry, thin or thick? And then give me an answer. I like thin pizza. And the last question, repeat after me. Who thinks that you were more thoughtful? Your mother, father, or brother? My mother thinks that I am thoughtful. My father and brother think I am thoughtful too. Okay, now the last one, the most difficult, is the paragraph with lots of TH sounds. Please keep in mind, this is probably not the most grammatically correct, nor does it make the most sense. It's a little choppy, doesn't flow well. And then the reason is because I'm just trying to use a lot of TH sounds, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and read the paragraph, and then you take a turn and read the paragraph on your own. So go ahead and just listen. This new TH sound that I learned on Thursday is really difficult. Think about trying to do something new for two sounds. Using your teeth and mouth in a new way to make sounds takes thought. Then you have to use this new skill with another language. This is rather difficult, and another thing to practice. The thing is that this should make my pronunciation better. What are your thoughts? Give it a try. Okay, how did you do? Remember, always take a minute to stop and reflect. What did you do well? And what do you need to work on? Did you forget to stick your tongue out? Did you do a great job of keeping the air moving? Excellent. Okay, so I always like to end with, how do I do this? Remember, let's do a quick review. You have to learn how to hear the sound. So make sure that you listen to a native speaker saying your target sound in words and sentences, and learn to discriminate between the sound that you say and the American TH sound. So that's A number one. If you have a hard time hearing the difference between your mistake and the TH sound, really focus on just some good listening. Listen to a podcast. I love Breaking News English. It's a free online ESL site that offers audio recordings of a paragraph that someone's reading. And also watch a good American movie or an American TV show, and really just focus on listening for the TH sound and the words that use or have that sound in it. Then when you start your sound production, once you can hear the difference, remember, it's easiest in words. It will be more difficult sometimes at the beginning, sometimes in the middle, or sometimes at the end of the word. It just depends on the person. Then you're going to move into using the word in sentences while reading, then in conversation. So please don't get frustrated. Remember, this is learning a new motor pattern. It's learning how to sort of monitor yourself and what you're doing. So words, sentences, reading, then conversation is the last thing. So give yourself some time and practice, practice, practice. That is very, very important. Okay, so for practice, again, listen, listen, listen. Keep a list of words that you use with the TH sound. Practice those. The more you use them, the faster your progress will be. Talk with a friend. If you're not in the US, find a friend who's also learning English. Teach them what you learned in this class, and then practice and correct that person. That's great practice for your listening. Practice for short periods throughout the day. This is a lot of work. This is learning many new things. It's a new language pattern, even though it's a sound. It's a new motor pattern with your mouth, and it's a new auditory pattern that you're learning to hear. And so you're learning all of these new things. So practice for short periods of time, because remember, we only want perfect practice to get perfect results. Look away from the words. Try to get 2 or 3 words into your brain, then look away from the words and practice those words, this, that, those. That's going to help you focus on what your mouth is doing and what your ears are hearing, and will help you with your progress. Correct a friend, get some coaching. This is a big one. People in America don't like to tell you when you mispronounce something. They think it's rude. So if you are in the US, or if you have American friends that are even living abroad, please tell them it's okay to correct me, because a lot of times they won't unless you give them permission. And then as you're going through this journey of pronunciation, remember, focus on one thing at a time. If you're practicing TH today, worry about the TH sounds. As you progress in your pronunciation, you can worry about more than one sound at a time, but especially when you first get started, only worry about the sound that you are working on. So thank you so much for joining me today. Unfortunately, we are out of time. If you enjoyed this, please tell a friend. I'm going to be having 2 more classes today at 11 and noon US Central Time. If you'd like to stay up to date, you can check out my website, www.tarlespeech.com. I'm also on Facebook, Twitter. I am on LinkedIn, and of course on YouTube. Subscribe. I have lots of new videos coming out soon. I'm thrilled about that. And also on my website, if you need more help, I have some great free articles on the TH sound and many other sounds. Lots of free videos on there as well. I made a playlist for today's class on the TH sound. You can find that on YouTube or on my website. And then also, last but not least, If you need more practice help, I do have some downloadable materials that include videos, audio, and text, and directions, and practice word lists on my website for both TH sounds, the voiced and the voiceless. So thank you again. Check back to my website for these handouts. I'll have them posted by the end of the week. And thank you so much for joining me this morning. Take care. Bye-bye.